Set up, and we're now recording. Welcome one, welcome all. Great to see you guys here. Sir Andrew, Cheryl, guys, chime in. Let me know who's here. I put together a little PowerPoint for you today just to break it up so you don't have to watch my ugly mug the entire time again, right? Just to change it up a little. We're on the power of attitude. Kind of cool. Kind of cool discussion. What made me think about it, truthfully, is just conversations from people over the weekend. It's funny how what in the world? Hold on. It says something is covering something up here. Hold on. Close that. Close that. Maybe that works. Cool. Yeah, so a bunch of stories. And I'll start with one. I'll tell you a story that my wife and I had. This is, I think, Friday night, Saturday night, or maybe it was Sunday, yesterday. So she does a lot of REO work for bank, particularly for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. And they have a really hideous process in what they do. But anyways, long story short, every single week on all her properties, all her listings, she has to go out and take minimum 15 pictures, right? Of all, and very specific. The boiler, the electric panel, all this kind of stuff, right? Of each and every house. And the challenge is some of these houses aren't even on the market yet, and they've been not on the market for 6 months now. Nobody looks at the pictures, they just go on record, and she's a little bummed out, a little stressed about the fact that every once in a while she cheats it, meaning that she just uses last week's picture because nobody's been in there since, nothing's changed, does a walkthrough, sees all the same, whatever. But she kind of feels inadequate in what she's doing, even though nobody is looking at this stuff. They haven't been thousands of pictures, right? And it brought to her attention an interesting discussion. And apply this to all stuff that we do, right? Particularly stuff that we don't want to do. Oftentimes we try to determine what we do based on someone else's standards. But whether or not we live up to their standards is completely independently mutual from whether or not we're satisfied with the job that we do. We have to inherently live up to our own standards. And that was the conflict that Trace was having, my wife was having internally, that even though nobody's going to watch or see these things, nobody's going to know that she used last week's pictures because it's all the same, nothing's changed. Even though nobody's ever going to say anything to her, she knows internally she agreed to do it a certain way. She's not doing it, and therefore it's creating an internal conflict, a stress, if you will. And my point there comes down to our attitudes. We either have the attitude that we are we're the decision makers to the quality of what we do, or we're going to try to rely on something external to us. And the second we try to rely on something external to us, we lose the satisfaction, the fulfillment of doing it. So I'll now take another discussion. I was talking to somebody else that I consult with, and they have like 8 weeks left on a contract and work they're doing, right? And they are miserable. They can't stand it. And everything that happens, what's going on, Brad? Good to check in, man. She sees in kind of the wrong light, They both know the relationship's coming to an end, and the paying end of it's being kind of an ass. I said, all right, here's the thing. You can look at everything that you have to do to fulfill your agreement and your contract and hate on it, because she said, Pat, every time I do this, it puts me in a bad mood, a bad space. I said, all right, well, why would you choose to be bad? Why would you choose to be angry or pissed off? Well, I don't choose it. I'm like, all right, stop. There's only 3 ways we fail anything in life, and not taking responsibility is one of them. So there's 2 ways you can ride out these next 8 weeks, these next 2 months, is you can be a miserable son of a bitch And that will have a ripple effect on anything and everything you do and everybody you come in contact with. Or you can ride it out like a rock star. How good a job you do, because you're like, well, I don't want to give him any more of me. You're going to, though. You have a contract to finish. How good a job you do, though, doesn't harm them or benefit them. It can only harm or benefit you. You've got to look at this differently. Start being a little selfish here, right? Don't do or not do for them. Do or not do for you. And here's the thing. If you choose to see everything like, no, like you just said, I'm giving him all this, doesn't deserve it, well, it's going to keep you in a state of this negativity, and that's going to have a ripple effect, and it's going to take you out every single day. It's going to affect the people around you. It's going to affect all your other decision makers. But if you change the positioning, take a different attitude, say, you know what? Regardless of him, I'm going to freaking beat him. I'm going to crush this like a rock star. And every step I take, I get one step closer to the end of it. And I'm going to do it on my terms, not have somebody else influence me in doing it. Then you get excited and motivated, and you jam it like a freaking rock star. And every step builds you up, doesn't take from you, knock you down. And that's nothing more than a shift in attitude. Which position would you rather be in? Which one will you sleep better at night in? Which one will affect the conversations you have with others in a better or worse way? You follow me on all this? And remember, it's our decisions, not our conditions, that affect the quality of life that we experience. It's our decisions, not our conditions, that affect the quality of life that we experience. So I'm going to take you through a quick little training on attitude I put together for you. It's kind of cool. Hope you guys will enjoy this. I'd love to hear from you along the way. Just comment, shout it out there. Give me feedback. So it's a dialogue, not a monologue. I just move my boxes around here. Mindset Mondays, attitude determines how far you can go on the success journey. We talk about this all the time, right? That life is a journey, right? It's got its highs and lows, and at the top of the peaks that we celebrate lows and we celebrate life, and it's down in the valleys where we learn about life. But if we weren't learning about life, we wouldn't be able to celebrate life. So we might as well enjoy the whole damn thing, right? If you remind me at the end, I'll give you 3 things that virtually guarantee your failure, which means 3 things to avoid that can virtually guarantee your success. We got to remind me at the end, okay? Alrighty, here we go. Or we don't go. Hold on. Click. There we go. Attitude 101. A great attitude will not guarantee your success, but a bad one will guarantee your failure. That is truth. Write that down. A bad attitude will guarantee your failure. For the same reasons I just used in this example here, right? The way you look at things, the way you see things will determine what happens next. It'll have a ripple effect. Will affect and change the trajectory that you're on in life. Somebody cuts you off on a highway, you'll be pissed off and angry and just see where that takes you. You could be absolutely grateful that they didn't hit you and you survived what could have been a near-death experience, right? It's all the way you choose to see it. Pat, no, it's not true. You don't know what's true or not true. Choose what serves you. Make that true. Cheryl says, I just wrote a poem about this week ago called The Journey. I love it. You should share that, Miss Cheryl. That would be awesome. Andrew says, I decide each morning to be in the right mood, the right attitude. That's awesome. You know, it's cool. You know this to be true every morning. We can't control how we wake up out of bed. Sometimes we wake up on the right side. Sometimes we wake up on the wrong side. But we can control what happens next. We can determine how we're going to deal with that bad attitude. There's some really easy things to do to change an attitude. Gratefulness, being grateful is one of the quickest and easiest ways to shift from a shitty mood to a positive mood. I mean, if you're listening to my voice right now, you got a lot to be grateful for. You really do. You're a blessed individual. If you keep seeing me looking over here, it's because the question box and the comment box is over there. Some facts on attitudes. Attitudes can lift up or tear down an entire team. They're contagious. Bad attitudes are even more contagious than great attitudes, but great attitudes do affect others as well. Attitudes compound when exposed to others, meaning a bad attitude, you plant that seed, it just spreads like a virus. It can take out an entire team, can take out a family. I've seen it many times. I come home and I allowed myself to be in a shitty mood, and I see how quickly that changes the posturing in my family. Bad attitudes spread faster than good ones, but I did notice over time that good attitudes have some shelf time. Once they're planted and seed and they've allowed to nurture and grow a little, they stick around for a while. Rotten attitudes left alone can take out an entire barrel of apples, so to speak, right? One bad apple affects all the apples. So start thinking about this as you walk into Starbucks in the morning. You're either going to be in a good attitude and radiate awesomeness and good, or you're going to be in a shitty attitude and radiate a shitty freaking persona. You don't even have to say a freaking word. Which one's it going to be? We affect and infect people on a regular basis, whether we like it or not. It's not up to us. Just the fact that we exist has an effect. You ever read the book The Butterfly Effect, or Aware of the Butterfly Effect? Is really cool. Everything we do, even down to every thought that we contrive, thought being a type of energy, has an internal ripple effect on this earth, on this world, on this universe. It's been proven scientifically that that is true. The butterfly effect is the idea that the butterfly flapping its wings on one end of the earth has an effect on weather patterns on the other end of the earth. And that's proven to be true as well. You may deny it or not believe it to be true, but it's scientifically proven. So think about that for a second. Now think about all that you do, not just in actions, not just in words, but in thought and in attitude. That's some of your most powerful energy, and that's some of the energy that gets transferred the quickest without you even thinking about it. What effect does that have on those around us? Andy Andrews, you're correct, Noreen. Thank you for that. He's the author of The Butterfly Effect. Cute little book. Keys to a bad attitude: an inability to admit doing wrong. You know, a lack of humility will keep you down. A lack of humility will beat you to the ground. Will take you, a potentially massive person, and quite effectively minimize you to a tiny little soul. That's something I think I'm contagious to people who lack humility. Failing to forgive goes along with petty jealousy. Failing to forgive, that's kind of like, or hating on someone, right? That's kind of like drinking a glass of acid and thinking somehow that's going to affect the other person, hurt them or kill them. All it's doing is ripping you apart from the inside out. Jealousy and a lack of forgiveness. When you forgive, you're not forgiving for them, you're forgiving for you. You're releasing you, you're liberating you. The time and a place to be a little selfish, and this is it. But that makes for a shitty attitude. Vindictiveness, jealousness. Very, very vindictive. Low vibration attitudes. And that attracts more garbage into your life. A critical spirit where you look to be critical. You look for the glass half full instead of looking for it half. You look for the glass half empty rather than instead of the glass half full. That's a critical spirit. You look for what's wrong. You can't compliment. You can't find the good. You know, you will get back out of this life exactly what you seek. And when you seek crap, you get crap back. When you seek good, you get good back. If you're getting a lot of crap in your life, start looking at what you're looking at. Hey, that's a pretty good, that's quotable. When you are getting a lot of crap in your life, start looking at what you're looking at. I like that. That's a critical spirit, right? I know. I mean, I'm sure you guys do too. I know this dude who there's never a bad word out of his mouth. He's always happy and smiley. You say, well, that's not a real world. Well, in his life, it's real because that's all he sees and that's all he gets. So who's to say it's not real? Interesting, isn't it? Desire to hog all the credit. You and I both know people like this, right? That they always got to be the ones who take the credit, but when the shit hits the fan, they're nowhere to be seen. Not my fault. They go to blame, right? And blaming is one of those things that'll guarantee your failure, right? Blaming is right up there with the other two. It's just absolutely guarantee. You want to fail? Blame others for your situation. Well, Pat, it's not my fault. Well, then there's nothing you can do about it. The second you say it's not your fault, there's nothing you can do about it. Too bad for you. Or you can step up, Say, you know what? Yeah, decisions I made led up to the experience that I had, led up to what I lost, led up to what I don't have or have. Because once you take that level of responsibility, you can then become accountable for it, which means you can do something about it. That's a choice. Some of us would rather wallow in, oh, poor me, pity, victim, and we get exactly that out of life. We're a victim. Victims can't do shit. They can just sit there and be a victim, right? Not everybody always likes to hear this shit, but somebody's got to say it, right? You create your reality. Yes, Cheryl. Absolutely, you create your you create your reality, and you get back out of this world exactly what you put into it. You get back out of this world exactly what you put into it. The universe is very abundant and very giving and generous, and doesn't make many mistakes. It'll give you exactly what you asked for. Challenges, we ask for things we don't want. How do you ask? You be. You put out. You exist. But when you're running around angry, the universe says, wow, he wants more angry in his life. I'll give him more angry. Well, I didn't ask for that. You did, as far as the universe is concerned. The effect of attitude on you. Your attitude and your potential go hand in hand. You know, if you see the world, the glass half full, you will see potential around every corner. You put attitude together with a little action, with a little preparation, right? And then you add to a potential. You'll generate all the good luck in the world. That's the simple formula for it, right? Attitude goes hand in hand. But if all you see is the risk, the negative, you're critical about it, then no. Your potential will not be such. Attitude determines our relationships, your ability to get along with other people. I know some people who get along with other people, get along with everybody, and others that don't. They're like freaking, some are like magnets, and some are like, I don't know, they repel everything. You walk around with a puss on their face. They don't ever want to look somebody in the eye or shake their hand or smile at them. Yeah, you'll push me away too. Body language speaks louder than actions, which speak louder than words. That's our order of communication, right? Our words, our actions, but then our body language. That's the silent one, the subconscious one that screams louder than the rest. Attitude and inward feeling expressed by our behavior comes from within, that our behavior reflects of it, and it's reflected in both our behavior, it's reflected in our body language. Attitude separates success from failure. Our attitude at the beginning will be the greatest influence on the outcome. How we start the game going and what we believe is going to happen will have the greatest influence on that game. If we believe we can't win, we won't win. If we believe we're not enough, we're not enough. If we believe we're not smart enough, we're not smart enough. If we believe we don't have the right tools, then we don't. If we believe we don't have enough resources, then we don't. Your attitude at the beginning will be the greatest influence on the outcome. If you wake up in the morning and you look yourself in the mirror, and that individual looking back, right, is saying to you, you know what, we don't know it all, but we know enough. We don't know it all, but we know enough. We're not big enough, but we're big enough. We're not as strong as we could be, but we're strong enough. Get it? That person looking back dictates how far we can go. And of course, that person look back is your inward view of you, right? Attitude can turn challenges into an opportunity, just like I expressed with that young lady I'm consulting with, right? She's going to use these last 2 months of this contracted work with this guy, this company she can't stand, as an opportunity to propel herself into space. She's going to do it by providing an unbelievable experience for all involved, but she's going to do it for herself, not for the company that she doesn't like anymore, right? Hey, why not? Attitude affects everything. What shapes and influences our attitudes? Our environment. What's our environment? Our physical environment, like how cluttered our environments are around here. The things you have on your walls that you look at and you read. That's your physical environment. Your emotional and mental environments. right? How well we're keeping this stuff in place, how often we put positive things into it, what books we're reading, and how we're growing and expanding from it? Or are we filling it with garbage from the news and crap from Facebook? Right? That's our environment. People, our environments. Where do our people stand? Do they bring us up or bring us down? Do they expect more of us than we expect of ourselves, or do they set a lower bar? They want to drag us down. They want to keep us down with them. Andrew says, agree 1,000%. Right? Environments are massively influential on our result. Environments are more powerful than our willpower. Keep that in mind. Some of us are, very, we like to muscle through things. Well, your environments will outpower your willpower, because your willpower is a depletable source, like gasoline in a fuel tank. And typically about 2/3 of the way through each day, it's done, right? Self-image, how you see yourself, of course, that'll affect your attitude. And this has to do with, doing inner work, taking care of yourself. Each and every one of us are a magnificent creation of God that is amazing, God-given talents and skills, innate and unique, that are only for us individually. They're unlike anyone else's formula. And we're giving it to us for a reason. And that's not to sit on it. It's not to find fault in ourselves. It's to manifest it and create from it. Create things that no one else can, because they don't have the same formula that we have. It means we have to be unique and authentic, genuine to who we're meant to be. But we have to appreciate that. Get over body type, get over, financial status, get over all that bullshit that for some reason we like to measure ourselves outwardly with. Let's start with the fact that we're unbelievable. You're fucking unbelievable. Start there. No one is more unbelievable than you. Start there. How we see ourselves will directly affect our attitudes, physical appearance. Do we take care of ourselves? I'm not saying you got to be a rock star athlete. I'm not even saying you have to be fit or anything like that. But do you at least take the time to, take care of yourself? And if you don't, and that affects you, which it will, at what point are you going to respect this, right? This is your rocket ship. What's inside your rocket ship, right, is magical. You want to get to the moon, you got to take care of this. There's an old saying, that which you don't respect, you can't keep. Get what I'm saying? Our security and status, marriage, job, family, all of these things influence our attitude. And all of them are things that are directly within our control. Cheryl, you brought up the integrity wheel. Good call. We'll do the integrity wheel another day. That does put all of this in kind of an understanding, right? Changing attitude. The key to a good attitude is willingness to change. That's the thing. And this is where, let's start with that H word we talked about a little while ago, humility. I'm not all for like going around all the time finding out, hey, let's figure out what's wrong with us so we can fix it. No, bullshit. Because then, unfortunately, we end up focusing on first what we're not good at, and then we focus on our weakness, and we get so hung up on what's wrong. No, let's freaking, how about we focus on what's really good, that we're really good at, and blow that up. Let's blow that shit up. Don't worry about what we're bad at. It's like the flaw in school, man. You're good at four classes. You suck at 2 others. Now you spend all your time, energy, and effort on the 2 you suck at instead of just exploiting the ones you're awesome at. That doesn't make any sense. That's just stupid. But don't get me going on school. All right? But the key to a good attitude is willingness to change. So you know what? I am a work that's ongoing. As part of my human DNA, I'm designed to grow and change ruthlessly. Therefore, I must have room for improvement. Perfection doesn't exist, particularly in nature, for the sole fact that we're designed to grow and change. And if we were to grow and change, it would mean we couldn't be perfect already. We'll never reach perfection. What we strive for, self-actualization, reaching our potential, which, as we've spoken about in the past, is a paradoxical statement in that the more we do to maximize our potential, we at the exact same time are enhancing our potential. So as we work towards it, it gets further away. Of course, we're growing and expanding, becoming bigger, but we can never fully self-actualize. But what we can do is get on a steady path of growth and enjoy the hell out of the journey. Because after all, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. See, all these pieces kind of loop over and tie together. It's kind of cool. A friend just let me know just yesterday that our mind acts as a filter and blocks things out purposely because it didn't think that there would be too much information coming in. Good. Stop right there. Absolutely right. Thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of bits of information coming in all the time, Maureen. We can't possibly process them all. So we put up filters and block out like 99% of it and only let through what our brain, what we've told our conscious brain has told our subconscious to let through that we think is relative. Right? As a test of this, he would train his brain to notice coins on the floor from people who's dropped them throughout the city, and he did notice them. He then said if he saw this, then he should be able to find jewelry too. His mind started to find this too. He was able to try. He was able to try. He was able to train his brain to see exactly what he wanted to see, focusing on a positive. Absolutely. So, I mean, we experience this. Probably we've all had this experience where we went shopping for a car, and once we picked out the car we wanted or got the car that we wanted, we started seeing that car everywhere. Well, that car was always everywhere. It was never not everywhere. It was always everywhere. I'll do a quick, all right, here, you guys got to play along here, okay? Do me a favor. Seriously, this will take 60 seconds. Seriously, legit, it'll take 30 seconds. Legitimately play along. I want you to look around the room right now, okay, and pick out everything that's green. I'm going to count to 5. Do this quickly. Everything that's green, remember it. Green, green, green. Pick it out. Watch how when you focus on green, you're going to see it. Find green, 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 green. All right, stop. Now close your eyes. Do not look or it won't work. You're just going to see the power of this. Cover your eyes right now. Do this. Don't cheat yourself here because you will cheat yourself. You really miss out if you don't get this right. So I'm going to ask you now about the colors. Close your eyes, and I need to know what first comes to your mind. Shout out everything right now, immediately, that is the color brown. Go, 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 go. All right, stop. This exercise uncover your eyes. If this exercise when it's planned, now as you look around the room, you will see that there's a lot more brown things, possibly, in your office, in your space, in your bedroom, wherever you are, than you saw or remembered. Yet you did see them all. You just weren't focusing on them. See what I'm saying? That's the power of focus. No different than driving down the road. Let me know, for those who did that exercise, let me know how that worked. It's hard to do over the phone like this, but it's still a cool exercise. You see the same thing when driving down the road and you see a pothole in the middle of the road and you try not to hit it, you try to avoid it, and you end up freaking burying a tire in and ripping out your wheel, you know? The answer is very true. The answer is that was crazy. Noreen, a lot more brown in the room. It's funny, right? It was always there. We saw it. When you were looking around for green, you saw it all, right? But you didn't retain it because you decided it wasn't important at that time. That's how powerful it is. Just like that example with the coin and jewelry, Noreen, that you shared above. Awesome. Key to good attitude is willingness to change. Evaluate your present attitude. Identify problem feelings. What are feelings, right? Do you ever feel, I don't know, victimized? Do you feel offended? Do you feel angry? These are all feelings, emotions, right? Problem. We shouldn't allow ourselves to choose negative emotions because they can only bring more negative in. That's what we can focus on, just like these exercises we just did. And we'll see more of them. You'll see it in everybody. Identify behaviors, same thing. Identify thinking, same way. Clarify truth, secure commitment, and carry out your choice. Act immediately. Clarify truth, meaning accept the truth that serves you. I said you can have two people that see the exact same event, circumstance, two totally different ways. One could see it as a tragedy. One can see it as an opportunity. Choose the truth that serves you. You say, well, which one's truth? Whichever one serves you, right? And then carry out your choice. Stick to it. Focus on it. Act immediately. Follow through with it. Don't just go through a Monday exercise here and let it all go away, right? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you waste all of your valuable time on this call with me and then not try to utilize some of the skills? Brad says that I said furnished, so that counts for about 8 things, so I win. Alrighty then. Don't even know what you're talking about. I think we have one more slide here. Hang on. Fall in love with the desire to change and watch the desire to change grow. It's easy to get stuck. It's easy to get put in a rut, right? It's easy to stop making progress. It's easy to get scared and stand still. It's not so easy to be uncomfortable from change. You gotta want to love it. You gotta want to desire to grow and expand. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We can never be fulfilled. We can never be satisfied. We can never be wholly complete unless we're in a constant state of growth. And the second we start feeling resistance in our lives, like things are off base, out of whack, don't know why, it's usually a result of the fact that we pull back the reins, we stopped expanding and growing. And that's a choice we have to deal with. Fall in love with the desire to change and watch the desire to change grow, meaning the more you do it, the more you'll enjoy it. It's like working a new muscle. A little pain up front, a little pain at first, but the pain will slowly go away and then it'll turn into a good pain, something you look forward to. Something that'll invite you to train and hit it hard again next time. Awesome. That's all I got for you guys. Hopefully that shed a little light on how powerful attitudes are, how powerful our decision making is. The fact that every decision has a ripple effect on a trajectory that we are on in life. And it's the little decisions, not the big ones. You know, our biggest challenges in life are not making big mistakes. It's making tiny little mistakes again and again and again and again. Kind of the old sayings, you ever been bit by an elephant? The answer is no. You ever been bit by a mosquito? Yeah, like a shit ton of times, right? Those mosquito bites that'll catch up. You don't have to worry about the big one, the elephant, because it just ain't going to happen. It's the small mistakes that we make in our decisions that collectively do a tremendous amount of damage long term, just like it's the small proper decisions that create outrageously awesome results long term. You know, when you first get married, you don't then decide that I'm going to get unmarried, I'm going to get divorced. But there's a series of decisions made by the partners over time that lead in divorce. Nowhere in life do I think you actually said, hey, I want to be obese. But there's a series of decisions made over a long period of time that have led to that as well. I doubt anyone ever said, hey, I want to be an alcoholic. But the series of decisions, small decisions repeated over time has led to that effect. You follow me on all this? I know there's some exceptions yet. I get it, okay? But I think you get what I'm saying. That's the power of decisions. Our decisions are preceded by the attitudes that we walk around with. Michelle said, I really think I'm pushing my ceiling in my comfort zone. I did my first webinar this week and had to figure out all the tech stuff. Congratulations. Excellent. It was stressful, but I powered through and I did it. Congratulations to you. Well done, Cheryl. To the degree that this crap is uncomfortable, whatever it is we're doing is equal to the degree of opportunity on the other side of the wall. Keep that in mind. That's something I remind myself about all the time. Pat, the degree of challenge is equal to the degree of opportunity. Challenge, whether I'm afraid of doing it, and yes, I get afraid, whether it's a problem at hand, because every problem creates an opportunity. Some of the problems suck, and some of you don't understand why you have to go through them. On hindsight, you'll be able to connect the dots. There's never been an experience in my life, the worst of the worst experience that I've been through, and I've been through some crappy ones. On hindsight, I would not have, at this point, undone any of them, because the opportunities they presented, even to the degree that they made me who I am, I would not want to risk losing. Andrew says, thanks, amigo. Have an awesome day. You too, sir. Brad, thanks again for your strong insight. I'm always a little upset when I miss your inspirational words. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it, brother. Shirley, have a good day as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you're awesome. Appreciate you, and I'll see you back here live next week. Don't forget you got Justin here for when. I'll be here Wednesday. If you guys want to talk about anything cool on Wednesday, real estate-based techniques, negotiating, finding deals, talking to sellers, let me know. We can do something fun. Justin's away, so I can screw up his call as much as I want. But you guys are awesome. Peace.